Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jay Lee. This is Jay Lee's Corner, and this is my late review for Queen Sugar Season 2, Episode 11, which came on yesterday. Yesterday, I took my time. I ran out of time. I think I didn't finish watching Queen Sugar until 3 a.m., and I had to go to bed. I was tired, and I have to get up for work in the morning, so I am just not doing the Queen Sugar review now. So, for those of you who watch my Queen Sugars, sorry it's about a day late. But let's just get into this episode. A lot was revealed in this episode. Loved it. I took a lot of notes. Because the episode starts off, we see, Nova has asked Charlie to come over to help her find something to wear for this interview that Robert has her doing. So, Charlie's over at Nova's house and she's looking through her closet and she just does not see anything that is TV ready. As we know, Nova dressed different, Nova's a different kind of dresser, which is why she asked her sister to come over to help her get an outfit together. So Charlie just makes a suggestion: you need to go shopping, get yourself something special for this particular TV experience. And not only that, get you something special for Mr. Dubois, for Mr. Robert to see you in. This is also something special for him. So, Nova lets her know, well, yeah, I'm thinking about that too, and Charlie can kind of see Nova's a little bit weirded out, about this new situationship thing with Robert. And she's like, you guys, are you concerned with how things are going? And, Nova lets her know that he gave her a key to his house. And she said even though that she was thinking about maybe giving him a key to her house, she's still concerned about not how fast they're going, but where it's going, like when is it going to end, that the kind of things you think about sometimes in certain relationships when you don't know where it's going, when you are all in and you're feeling this person so much, but you feel like the other shoe is going to drop. He lives in this state, I live in this state, it's a long distance thing, where are we going with this situation? And Charlie does let her know, like, look, it's hard. And because they're going to kind of be working together too, Charlie put her 2 cents in, like, it's hard sometimes when you're working with someone you're also dating, because the lines sometimes get crossed. You can be doing one thing as a couple, and then work comes to the conversation, and then an argument can ensue. And, the media sometimes can pit you against each other and always want to be involved in your relationship. So she was like, the media can sometimes interfere too. So, but she tells her just to take her time and just to do what she feels is right. So we see that's all in cool. Everything is fine and everything. We see Darla and Ralph Angel are going to actually go to counseling. They're actually in this marriage counseling that I suggested to Ralph Angel, even though Ralph Angel was against it. But when they got in that last fight last time, they knew they have to learn how to fight fairly, which is what Darla tells the pastor therefore, their biggest issue, as they both admitted, is communication. And she's like, we need to learn how to fight fair, because when you're in a relationship, you're going to argue. There are going to be disagreements. But the thing about it is, you can't fight dirty. You have to fight fair. You have to fight, you can't be trying to throw low blows in every conversation, because then that's going to make y'all resent each other and have, it's going to build up a hatred. So there is a way to communicate, debate, and to fight fair when you're in a partnership, in a relationship with another person, because it's not all about you and what you think is right. And the pastor asked them, well, how did y'all see y'all parents' marriage growing up? So, Ralph Angel says, my mom died when my dad was 10. All I can remember is them kissing, and I thought, because I was a 10-year-old. So the pastor says, okay, well, you have this idea of, just a marriage or a partnership is supposed to be always loving. You don't get the other part of it. And then with Darla, she says for her parents, she never saw her parents disagree at all. And he was like, well, she admitted her father was in the church. And, Patrick said, well, your mother never, had a difference of opinion from your father. And she said, if she did, she never said it. She never used her voice to vocalize her difference of opinion from the father. So, Patrick said, y'all, it's good that y'all are here. It's good that y'all can now recognize that y'all have never had a good representation of a partnership, because y'all have two different thought processes on how it works, because sometimes for Darla would sometimes not say things to upset Ralph Angel, and Ralph Angel think things are supposed to always be lovey, 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 and that ain't the truth. That ain't how things really go. So, the pastor was like, I'm gonna give y'all some homework, to work on, so that we can get this, get you guys, in a better way of communicating to each other. So I think that was good. We see Aunt Vi, and she's in her kitchen, baking them pies, baking them pies, baking them pies, and she is talking to Hollywood like, okay, I need you to drop this off in the mail, and we see that she wants him to drop off that contract that the supermarket owner dropped off for her, and he kind of looked at her like, well, first of all, hello to you too, you know what I'm saying? And he kind of didn't respond when she said, I need you to drop it in the mail. And he like, oh, so you decided to go ahead and take the offer? And she's like, yeah. He's like, but the doctor told you, you should take it easy. We find out what she went to the doctor for. The doctor thinks she has fibromyalgia. I need to Google that. I know what it is, but I don't want to say the wrong thing about what it is. But she says, the doctor says they think it might be fibromyalgia. It could also be, I can look it up while I'm sitting here. It could also be the fact that I was just under stress from the kids and everything that they were, all this, the antics of the kids. I don't feel like Googling anything. All the antics of the kids and what they were doing. And y'all can Google it. Don't even worry about it. And she's like, I want to do this. I'm not going to, let this opportunity pass up, especially when there's a $50,000 advance with it. So I thought that was cool, of Aunt Vi. Her and Hollywood's story, I always try to wrap up one person's story, if it's an easy story, is, she wants to do that. Hollywood, as we know, is also still working at the little construction building site or whatever. He has also befriended his white co-worker, the guy who also came from like the rigs or whatever. So they're kind of friendly, and they've been, talking it up at work, and Hollywood invites him over to like watch the game. And, when he comes home, he tells Vi, like, yeah, I invited a friend over from work. He gonna come over here later today or tomorrow, whatever day he said it was. And she's like, oh, it's okay. I'm gonna be at the church social, or the church, whatever. It's okay. I won't be here. Y'all have fun. She also brings up how, she's trying to make more pies, trying to make them quicker, so she doesn't think that her stove was going to work. She's going to have to probably try to use, I think, the diner's stoves. I thought she was going to say, just buy a new stove. But, we don't know. So he like, okay, that's cool. But, so, Hollywood bring the guy over, and they having fun and chilling and everything. And then after I come home, and she see that his coworker happens to be a Caucasian gentleman. And, Aunt Vi is from a different era. She's older. And some older African-American people in the South might not want white people in their homes. And Aunt Vi is one of those people. So, she was friendly-ish. She wasn't rude, but she wasn't as welcoming as she could be. And, Hollywood talks to her about it a little bit later, to say, what was that? And she's like, I just didn't know he was white. And he like, well, is there a problem with that? She's like, no. She's like, I'm not used to having white folks all up my house chilling. And I thought about it, and I'm like, none of them really interact with many white people. So I guess that is something different to have if you're from the South, and if you're from an era of separation and segregation. It could be different for you for the first time. Have a white person in your house drinking beer. It could be a little bit different, but at the same time, that doesn't make it right. You can't want things to be different. You can't like segregation. Let's just call it spade a spade. And Hollywood like, I can't believe you saying stuff like that. That ain't you. And she like, this is the kind of thing I'm talking about, how, it's proof that we're from two different eras. And he's like, well, that don't have nothing to do with what you just said. That's just not right, basically. So that was the most that happened with them two. So I wanted to just get that all out the way. We see that Charlie, Remy, and her mom are walking through like a big open park or a field and everything. And Charlie is talking about how she wants to have this brown sugar queen festival, since the Landrys and the other sugar mill owners kind of don't want to include the black people in it. You know what I'm saying? Like, a girlfriend couldn't be the sugar cane, whatever it was supposed to be. So her mom was like, you're not gonna make no money from this. Her mom is kind of the money person. She's like, I get my daughter has a dream, but how is it making you money? Where Charlie is like, and she said to mom, this is to help us, make us feel better. It's about black people thinking enough for themselves, and we're trying to make ourselves feel good. And she's not doing it to make money. She's doing it to make a stance against the Landrys that we are enough. We meaning us melanin popping African American folks. And she says to her mom, like, you have to understand that. And she's like, but Charlie, you have these loans to pay back. You are the first black female mill owner, but you don't want to be the first black mill owner who also goes bankrupt because she's not making enough money. You also need to repay your loans and find people who have more acres than the farmers you're working with to make some money. And Charlie's like, I get that, but you can't help me by telling me not to do this. Okay, mama? Okay? And her mother's like, okay, I get it, And Charlie says, I'm going to make this dream a reality. And the thing that I liked about it is Remy stood there and just looked at her. This proud. He was silent, but he was also agreeing with everything that Charlie was saying just by his demeanor and his presence, listening to her talk. And, I would wholeheartedly, agree with her. So Nova is at a clothing store looking for something to wear. And she's looking and looking and looking. So we see that the store associate comes and helps her. Like, I'm going to pull some things for you. Because Nova does say, I'm looking for something for television. But you can see Nova is nervous. So when she's sitting there in the store, her phone rings and it's Robert. Now, she was just not even paying Robert much attention. She was very standoffish. It was a very a different kind of call. And, he was like, yeah, the producer said that you were talking about that in the hotel. I thought when you came to town, you were going to stay at my house. And she was like, oh, yeah. Well, because they offered to pay for it, I'm like, I'll just take them up on an offer. But she sounded weird saying it. She didn't say it as in she was really trying to do whatever. And then he said, well, you know what? You're right. If they're paying for it, we might as well enjoy the best of Atlanta hotels, on their dime. And she was like, oh, yeah. And she didn't say like, yeah, we gonna do this. Yeah, we gonna do that. She didn't do that. She kind of like, oh, okay. And she was just, very standoffish. He noticed something was up, and he's like, no, what's wrong? And, it was the reason he wanted to at the hotel. And she just like, okay, I'm gonna be in there 1 second, talking to the dress lady. And Robert like, what's going on? And she's like, you know what? I'm a little busy right now. I'm going to have to, call you back. And then she just hangs up. I'm like, Nova, don't mess it up with this man already, Kay. He's a good man, Savannah. If you don't know what that's from, watch Waiting to Exhale, Whitney Houston. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? She hangs up like, I'm gonna call you back. It was still a very awkward call. Next, we see Charlie Mama working her white woman magic. And when I say white woman magic, I don't mean that in a racist way. I mean, if you ever seen white chicks when they be like, I'm a white woman in America, which means as a white woman in America, you can do things that some of us black women can't. So Nova's mama was working her white girl magic, okay? And, not Nova's mom, sorry, Charlie's mom. And they are at at a golf club in Louisiana. And Charlie's like, are you sure that I can be here? Because, of course, Charlie is black. And, some golf courses don't allow African Americans to play there. So she was like, nope, I checked, it's fine. The fact that her mama knew that she had to check, let her know some things is afoot. Okay? So, Charlie hits the ball and she sinks the hole in one putt. And we see, Caucasian man walking up to him. He's like, great form, great. I see why your mom wants us to recruit you to be a member here. Because before he walked up, Charlie's mom did say to her, you should think about applying here. Because it's a golf course where they do allow black people. You should think about joining here and meet the members. And then she sank the putt, and then the white man came up. And he's like, her mom's like, oh yeah, this is my daughter Charlie. She introduces him. We then find out he is a distant relative of the Landrys. And he comes up like, we should get together. Here's my card. We should meet up. I want to come see your meal. Your mom told me about it. I want to see about, we can do some business together. her mom's like, yeah, he has 21,000 acres. I'm like, damn, 21,000. Okay. Okay. Hey, Mr. Man. So she was like, oh, but aren't you milling with Landry? And he was like, isn't that your family? And he's like, yeah, we're, very distant. I think it's like maybe the Landry's grandfather and his son. It was lineage in the back and way, way back when. But he was like, very distant cousins, but we're like the black sheep. He doesn't even give us a family discount. And she was like, really? So you really want to do work with me? He like, as I said, he doesn't give us the family discount. We're the black sheep of the family. And, her mama puts into her head, not everyone is cool with Landry. You just have to learn where to go to meet the different people, i.e., the golf course. So it's like, does white people make their businesses on a golf course and black people make their deals? So like, what I'm saying, strip clubs, not trying to be racial at all. I'm just asking questions. But, people, they meet where they meet. Next we see Ralph Angel, who was taking a farming course, and Remy is the teacher. And, he's asking different questions about sugarcane and when you should pull it and if bugs attach it, all this farming stuff that I don't know about. And he asked the question, and one girl answers it, but she says the answer that Ralph Angel mumbled, that Remy didn't hear, of course. And when the girl said it, he was like, because she took his answer. And then when Remy asked, well, why or how or something, the girl was like, I don't know. I just said what he said. And she looking at Ralph Angel like he's a little snack. Get your ass off my Ralph Angel, girl. And so Remy said to the girl, pay attention, because he could see she was just trying to get her a piece. And so he then asked Ralph Angel the reasoning for his answer. And Ralph Angel like, well, because it works. And he was like, it was something like, when your sugar cane has bugs on it or whatever, how do you get them off? And he like, well, you spray it and all this. He was explaining some stuff. So when he didn't have a reason as to the reason for doing it, Remy kind of gave a reason. He didn't scold Ralph Angel at all. He just came up with an answer and said the reason that we're in this class is not to say what works, is to say why it works and how it works. Because that's what you go to school for. You can't say, well, 2 plus 2 is 4. But why is it 4? Because 1 plus 1 equals 2. And then another 1 plus 1 is 2. And then you put them together, it gets to 4. Really? That's what it's a thing of how do you get to this answer, why did we get to this answer, and how can it be this way? You talk about it as if it's a business. For instance, I'm not gonna go there. No. But Ralph Angel feels like Remy scolded him and embarrassed him. Ralph Angel being his feelings, acting like a baby. And he said to him when he was leaving the class, like, you embarrassed me, you didn't have to call me out. And he like, I didn't call you out. I just explained the reasoning for it. He was like, that was a what do you say it was? A critical thinking experience. Meaning, if I give you a question, we have to have a critical moment of thinking about why it is this way. But Ralph Angel being extra salty, okay, acting like Remy, did. I thought we was friends. And people need to learn when to, separate friends from business. We can be friends, but when we in this classroom and I'm your teacher, okay? I'm your teacher. You should let me teach you what you don't know, because farming is a business. Hell, YouTube is a business. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, people have to realize sometimes to listen about what is really going on. And, he just didn't like it. You embarrassed me in front of the whole class, and you didn't have to call me out, and blah, blah, blah. Ralph Angel, get over yourself. It is what it is. He then says something as he's walking out. Nah, I see why you and Charlie together. Y'all both think y'all know everything. Y'all some know-it-alls. Ralph Angel has a chip on his shoulder. He got all the chips. He got the Dorito chips, some Frito chips, some Lay's chips, some Better Made chips, or some Ruffles chips, all of them. He got all kind of chips on his damn shoulders. And he needed to stop acting like that. So, this scene. Nova comes to Charlie's house to show her the clothes that she bought. And when she walks in, she sees Charlie's mom. And Miss Lorna is, of course, the woman that they meaning Nova, Nova, Ralph Angel, Aunt Vi, feels took Ernest from their mom. And, initially, Miss Lawrence like, you know what? I want to extend my condolences to you. I don't know if that's weird for you. And she was like, why would that be weird? And she was like, well, because I know, losing your dad was very personal to you. But also, me losing him was personal as well. And Nova's like, I could spend, time, going over all the hurt and pain you caused my family. But I'm not going to do that. So Nova gets herself to leave. Lorna, we find out Lorna's point of view. Lorna's side of what happened with her, Ernest, and Nova and Ralph Angel's mom. And I wrote down the real story behind how she got with Ernest is told. Nova's mom, because I'm not going to go word for word what she said, because it's just too much to think about. Basically, she was saying, when I met Ernest, him and your mother were broken up. Your mom didn't, because as she's talking to Noah was going to leave. And when she was going to leave, she said she was like, when, your father told me how much he loved your mom, how much of a free spirit she was, which made Nova stop in her tracks. So my dad talked to you about her like that? And she was like, yeah, on our first date, he told me he was in love with her. And so that made Nova stop and listen. So Charlie was also there. So Charlie kind of standing in the middle of them, but to the side, letting the conversation happen. And for the beginning part of it, Nova's back was turned, but she did start turning to look at Miss Lorna to listen. And she, Lorna says, this is from her perspective, your father and your mom had broken up. Your mother was a free spirit. She didn't want to be tied down in a marriage. She wanted to, be free. As we know, Nova's a free spirit. So it's something like that. She says, so your father left. He came to California for the first time ever. He was away from the farm and away from your mom. But they were broken up and he met me. However, when he met me, he didn't know that your mother was pregnant with you. We didn't know. But he told me what he wanted. I told him what I wanted. He was looking for family, stability, a marriage. Your mother didn't want that. She didn't want to give that to him. So she let him go. Which is when he met me. She talked about how she said so much, but she helped Nova realize she didn't steal Ernest from her mom. Her mom's name was Trudy, I believe. Yeah, Trudy. She didn't steal Ernest from Trudy, her mom. She said, you knew your mom. Do you really believe I could have took something from her that she didn't give away? Yes. Because she said once your father found out once your father found out that your mom was pregnant with you, he came back and your mother still didn't want to be with him, did not want to marry him, did not want it. That he didn't. And Nova, of course, did not know the story. Nova was crying. Charlie was crying because she was saying, at that time, I was, didn't have Charlie. Me and him were married. It was a whole situation. And she was like, but I never meant to cause any pain. I loved him. He loved me, but I never stole your father from your mother, was the base of her story. But she also said it in the aspect of, your mother didn't hate me. Your mother didn't dislike me. Your mother didn't have any disdain towards me. Your mother left your father. Your mother did not want to be in a committed relationship with your father. So she let him go. Hence why I'm saying to you, do you think I can honestly ever take something from your mom that she did not give away? I'm like, that's a powerful thing to say to somebody. You know what I'm saying? She said, in one part she said, I respect your mom so much because when he came back, your mom said, I fell in love with someone hiding inside you, and I didn't want to hide. And I didn't want to hide anymore. Meaning, she didn't want to make herself be something different. She didn't want to have to make herself be in this marriage. Some people don't want to be married. And she thought Ernest wanted that too, and he didn't. He might have wanted that deep, deep, deep down inside, but it wasn't really what he wanted. She didn't want to hide who she was anymore. she was a free spirit the same way Nova's a free spirit. We are sexually fluid, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, she also said, you know, your mother gave me what I wanted. Meaning, when she let your father go, when your mother let your father go, it gave me what I wanted, and that was Ernest. And we were in love. And Nova was crying again. Charlie was crying. It was a very powerful point of view from Lorna's point of view. Because we've never heard Ernest's point of view. We will never hear Lorna's point of view. I mean, we'll never hear Trudy's point of view. But it was different to hear Lorna's side and say how, you know, Trudy never had any bad feelings. They never had any bad blood, basically. And that it was just a beautiful moment. And that scene ended with Lorna saying to Nova, you knew your mom, but you think I can ever take something from her that she didn't give away? And that's how that scene ended. But it was a way to tell the story without making it seem like anyone was lying, like she could gain anything from the conversation. She gave her point of view from it. And the little odds and ends that she spoke about with her mother, Nova knew was true because she knew her mom. You know what I'm saying? So, beautiful, beautiful moment. What else? Oh, Ralph Angel, you know, still acting silly or whatever. You know, him and Remy run into each other at the cafe. And Remy talks to Ralph Angel that says, look, you know, you got a lot of baggage. You have a lot of things within yourself that sometimes causes you to have a heavy load to bear. You know, you my man, I love you. You know what I'm saying? We here, bruh. And I would never do anything to belittle you. I would never do anything to embarrass you. And he said, what he said was, you know, he apologized. And he said, you know, you carrying all this extra suitcase. Sometimes it's okay to put it all down. To put the baggage down and just sigh. And he said, if it's ever too hard for you to put the baggage down, brother, let me help you carry it. Speak that into existence. I was like, that's how you talk to someone who you genuinely care about, that you know is struggling with different things, and you want them to know that they are not alone. When your bags are too heavy for you to carry, let me help you carry them. And of course, they dab it up and they cool. So yeah. Nova go to see Aunt Vi because, as we know, Aunt Vi don't like Lorna. And, you know, she just asked her, you know, how did my mom feel about Lorna? And, you know, Aunt Vi says, you know, what you mean? And she was like, you know, did she not like her? Like, what happened? So, you know, Aunt Vi admits that Lorna did not break up, you know, Trudy and Ernest. She said, you know, when they got together, your father was thinking, yes, your mom did leave your father. She then said, but everybody knew that Trudy and Ernest was meant to be. We all knew that. You know, Trudy was out doing her own thing, but we knew eventually she would come back around and they would be together. So it was a thing of what Lorna was saying was true. Your mama didn't want to be with your daddy. You know, she was living this free lifestyle. And, you know, they weren't together when he started dating Lorna. And she said, did my mom not like how did my mom and Trudy how did my mom and Lorna get along? And she was like, you know, they were fine. And, you know, but Aunt Vi said, you know, Lorna prevented, you know, Ernest and Trudy from getting back together. Meaning because she didn't leave Ernest alone, it didn't give Trudy enough time to get through her stuff to want Ernest back. And, you know, she's like, because everybody knew they was meant to be, you know. Even though your mama wanted to explore other people. Now, see, she wanted to be free. And, you know, she was like, did not daddy when he came back? And, you know, I was like, yeah. But she was young. You know, we knew that she just needed some time. Again, it was the thing of Aunt Vi and everybody else thinking what was best for them. And Trudy had made her decision. She was cool with it. It was everyone else who made Lorna out to be the bad person, like it was all her fault, and it wasn't. It was kind of Trudy's fault, you know, not even fault, but she made her own decision, and she was happy in her decision. And you know, she's like, "No, where's all this coming from?" She's like, "You know, I just want to know, you know, what's real." I keep thinking back, and I never can recall my mother ever, you know, saying anything bad about Miss Lorna. And what I realized is, I only got the bad vibes from you. I'm like, okay. She learned this stuff. And she said, I just feel like I want to take the time to get to know who she was for myself. I need to make up my own mind about who she is. Meaning, I've hated my sister's mom for years based on my auntie's disdain for this woman. And this woman didn't even do anything wrong. So, you know, there's a second scene where Aunt Vi goes looking for Charlie, but of course she runs into Lorna. And they have a, you know, it's not even a long conversation. You know, Vi just said, you know, seeing you makes me think of him more than I can bear. And, you know, Lorna said, you know, me too. You know, I always picture him here, happy on the land, so it's hard for me to be here, and he's not here. You know, I really did love him. You know, I didn't mean to hurt anybody. And, you know, Aunt Vi says, I know you loved him, and I know, you know, it's hard for us all. So they had a kind of a calming moment where they were able to, it wasn't tension. And she was able to hear Lorna out, and she wasn't mean. And Lorna also felt, you know, it was like a weight lifted off of both of their shoulders. So I think that was great. We see where Hollywood has decided to not work for his boss anymore because they have a new contract, and the Landry's like over the contract, and he don't want to have it. So that was a little short little thing. And the ending is, you know, Nova going to Atlanta. You know, when Robert walks to his house, Nova is sitting on the couch, and he's like, oh, you know, I thought you would be at the hotel. I'm surprised you're here, but it's okay. And then, you know, she just says that last call, it was terrible. And she's like, yeah, you know, it's all my fault. You know, I feel like we're different. We remind me of another couple who took too long to be together. And it kind of scares me. She's like, but I'm tired. I'm tired of trying to figure out where it ends. You know, I'm tired of pushing you away. And he's like, I'm here. I'm here. And he hugs her. And it's a thing of she hearing how her parents' relationship was, and how her mom was this free spirit who never got to be with the person who could have been the love of her life because she kept pushing them away to do different things and to be free and everything. She finally realized that's the same thing she's been doing her whole life. And she's ready to not do that. And she wants to not do that with Mr. Dubois, Mr. Robert. Yes, Mr. Dubois. And, you know, that's how the episode goes off. So, that's our review for Queen Sugar, Season 2, Episode 11. Until next time, people, I hope you enjoy. Remember to like, subscribe to my channel, like my videos, subscribe to my channel, and then share them if you feel the need to. And always, you can drop a comment below to say whatever you need to say. But just be nice, okay? No rude comments. So, until next time, people, I am Jay Lee. This is JD's Corner.